everybody. James and Tammy. Love my pups, my British supply. So, say hi to them, Tammy. Say hi to those people.
Hey.
Let's see here. Okay.
What is today's date? Today's the 16th?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Beth B from Canada says, I've seen her name before. She's probably a customer of ours. I love Professor James.
Hello, Canada.
Hello, Canada. I love Professor James in the lab videos. Thank you. Have we ever shipped to Canada, and is there a shipping company that ships on weekends? I think with snail mail and lockdowns, it's probably not wise for me to chance it. Well, look, we ship to Canada all the time, and we ship to, so there's been zero problems
on your products
with both products and dogs even. Both,
okay.
Both.
Yeah.
But here's the secret to shipping to Canada. If you use FedEx, make sure that your customs declaration is correct. You need to have what's called a commercial invoice with it. If you don't, it gets hung up in customs. FedEx is a more reliable way to ship to Canada. If we're ever going to do things like semen, we always use FedEx. Our product we ship typically by US mail, and it's much simpler and less expensive. But it can take, a week to get there if you're doing that. But it gets there, and not had a problem with things getting there. There's the only way you can ship on a Saturday that I'm aware of. Well, it depends where you live. For us, the only way you can ship on a Saturday is by US mail. If you're going to ship on a weekday, you can use FedEx. I just received my semen. How do I? Well, this is 18 hours ago, so we're probably a bit late, honestly. Actually, I did reply to Maradona Lopez.
Yeah, I was gonna
just
say.
received my just received my semen. How do I wake it up? Well, the answer is you have a little alarm clock, and you set that alarm clock.
You shake it and say,
"Wake up!" You shake the alarm clock, and you say, "Wake up!" And by the way, they'll all have little sweaters on them because they're all cold. So you've got to take the little sweaters off them all, and then you give them a little shake and a cup of coffee, and then wake them up. Right?
No.
You don't need to do anything.
No.
Just open the box up, take the semen out. By the time you've loaded it up in a syringe, it'll already be close to room temperature. You'll be good to go. There's no cool down, super important. Heat back up, not critical at all. Somebody's portable incubator cute. Somebody says it's just a cooler with a question mark. No, it's not. It is a thermostatically controlled container that has a heated floor that will keep it exactly the right temperature.
Apparently, they didn't go to mybreedersupply.com to look that up to see if it's just a cooler.
Well, they're just
looked at that.
They're just asking a question.
I know, but if they'd looked at your website, they would have known.
Julio Diaz, so what number of progesterone on the Wandfo, which is the progesterone machine that we sell, and I love this thing. It is a fantastic machine. Would you start artificial insemination? I have the same machine, but people tell me this brand marks it a bit higher. I don't know if that's true. Well, it's not true. The answer is it's exactly the same as an IDEX machine in terms of its numbers. It reads in nanograms per milliliter, and my recommendation, if you're doing a single vaginal AI, you do it on 15. If you're doing a single surgical, you do it on about 23. And if you're doing what we do, which is locally when people bring dogs to us, we do a vaginal twice. We do the first one on a 12. We wait 2 days to do another one and test to make sure the numbers are over 18. And that for us has been 100% successful. Love this machine, and it's great for also timely C-sections. If you're doing much of this, you should have a machine. We should have had a machine years ago. It would have saved us a lot of heartache, and it would have produces bigger litters, I promise. Do you do pickup? I think they might be talking about picking up puppies. No, we're not a puppy delivery service.
No.
So no, but no.
Yeah.
We had a video that was actually from another customer that I posted of some puppies, and they all had yarn around their neck. And they're saying, any issues with the yarn around their neck? I was thinking of doing this too. Well, yeah, I think there are problems with the yarn around the neck, right? The first thing is, what happens when mama succeeds in taking the yarn off? There's two things that can happen. One is that you try to identify the puppies, and now you've lost your identification.
Yeah, Terry was telling me about using a chalk marker type thing. It's chalk.
I've heard about cutting one of their ears off, and you Every puppy you cut a different ear off. Half an ear off this one, you call that one Van Gogh.
Put a notch in it like they do cattle.
Van Gogh. Take the other one off this one completely,
No,
you call that
no, but
Hollandi,
seriously.
Hollander field from like that.
Bite it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I saw a great
there's
video about that.
a chalk pen or something like that you can mark them with, because some people try fingernail polish and Mama Dog licks that off. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if she can lick off the chalk or not. But.
Of Hollander field, the boxer, and he had a mask that was hanging off one ear.
Oh yeah, I sent that to you.
How did you? He said, "Thanks a lot, Tyson." It was great.
I think I sent it to my friends out there too on Facebook.
Yeah. So.
Pretty funny.
Look. I think this is what you got to do. You've got to be able to identify your puppies without anything on them at all. Because whatever you do, what happens if the markers come off, right? So, my recommendation would be this. Number one, make sure that you can identify. I mean, you've got sex to start with, so you can segregate into boys and girls. And then all puppies have got something different. They've got a patch of white, draw a little picture of it. They've got a longer tail, whatever. Write down a piece of paper when you first got your puppies so you can tell who is who.
When they're creams, it's real hard to
It can be, but we've never been in a situation we couldn't do it. Look, you don't want to get in a situation where you send animal genetic, you send off the genetic information, you label the puppies, and then you don't know who's who.
Right.
Or worse yet, you've sold a puppy to a family, and then now you don't remember which that puppy is, and the next thing you know, they got the wrong puppy. Don't want that. So my recommendation would be is that you write down on a document somewhere that you take a picture of with your phone, so you've got it for forever, of who is who. What Tammy does, and I think it's great, is she puts some of her jewelry on the dogs. And she always put the same jewelry, doesn't leave it on the dog, so nobody's going to get choked, nobody's going to remove it.
Yeah.
But when it's time to do videos, the same piece of jewelry goes on every dog. And it does two things. It lets the customer very easily see which dog is which as it progresses. They say, I like the dog with the diamond choker. And I can tell you this, it adds to the perceived impression of your dogs. There's nothing wrong with bedazzling your dog. I don't mean put clothes on a dog. That I don't think you should do.
No.
Because it hides the dog
body
up.
confirmation where you can't see how long or short
but
it is.
But to stick a bracelet on a dog's neck is just cuter than heck, right?
Those little elastic ones with the little rubber band.
Yeah, right. So that's what I would recommend.
But you don't leave it on there.
No,
okay.
don't leave it on. I don't like the idea of leaving any of the stuff on there.
Well, and sometimes you'll leave stuff on their neck to try to identify them, and they get bigger quicker, and before you know it, you may be choking the little dog.
That's right. Well, or it just gets a hand up through. We've seen this one. He gets a hand stuck up through it.
Yeah.
Or it gets
its mouth stuck on it.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that one on labs.
Yeah.
Remember that one lab? I thought the lab was in trouble.
Oh yeah.
And it'd been a whole day, and like this with a So that's a great point.
Made us feel so bad.
So I don't think it's necessarily that you should be leaving these things on. And like I say, the problem is if you leave them on, they're likely to come off, and then where are you? So I don't think you should leave them on. My dog is pregnant. Should I give her birth in normal or cesarean? Well, if it's a Frenchie, it's always C-section.
Safer, worth every penny to have a C-section.
Yeah, don't muck around with it. If you can avoid it.
But I mean, if you've had her hips checked out and her...
If you've got a 35-pound Frenchie that's bred to a 15-pound stud, hey, and do an X-ray beforehand, you've got an extremely good chance it'll be okay. Still have a vet on hand just in case.
Yeah, always have your vet on hand. Plan A, Plan B.
This is probably going to be getting towards the end of this. Taquir Tirmizi. I probably butchered your name. Sorry about that, Taquir. Love your videos. Very helpful. I have a question. My male is not interested in my female in heat. What do I do? So, what I find works with the girls is soft music and wine and some roses.
Doesn't work for me.
Did? What are you talking about? You mean I wasted all that money?
Diamonds. Called diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds would too. I see this a lot. Not that part. I mean, diamonds work, but not that part. I see this a lot where you've got two dogs, males and a female, they're running around together, they're with each other all the time, and when it's time to try to get that dog to perform, the dog just wants no part of it. And what's going on here is the dogs are too familiar with each other. If you are going to be trying to use a stud dog that runs around with the other dogs, two things. First off, do not be in a situation that these dogs, you've had them for months, and the first time you try to collect from the dog is the day you need it, because that's not going to work. You've got to be collecting from that dog a week, a month, whatever, beforehand, and practice with the dog so he knows what's expected to happen. And when you do try to collect from him, regardless of whether he is successful or not, give him a treat, be nice to him, love on him, tell him he's a good dog, even if he hasn't performed for you. Make this a good experience. Don't be aggressive towards the dog. The second thing is, and this is probably the most important part, take the dog away for 24 hours, 48 hours, put them in a different part of your house where they can't see, smell, or hear each other, and you will be surprised what reaction you get when you take that male and put it with a dog in heat after it hasn't been around any dogs for a few days.
What's that saying? Absent makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, I'm just going to show people this video, not this video, but this picture, because I thought it was funny as hell. I'll find it. So this was sent to me by one of my kids, and we love our kids, but
can you see it in there?
oh, it's maybe backwards anyway.
Yeah, it will be backwards, honey. Get it out of there. You're wasting time.
I think it's backwards either way. Anyway, but it's a little boy at school who's looking like he's crying, and he says in the top, "When it's career day and your dad sells dog semen for a living." One of my kids said that to us. That was fun. Hey, thanks for watching, folks. Subscribe to us. It helps us decide whether we want to continue doing these things. If nobody's watching this, it's a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
If you like it and you get benefit from it, hey, subscribe to it. Bye, everybody.